Hi, Elliot. I was out in the field working today and I thought I'd take a quick video showing you what I'm doing. I'm out on the St. Paul Research Station and in one of my breeding plots. This nursery is mostly for industrial hemp, but I wanted to show you a bit of it. It's fun to see the seedlings, and then I'll take some more videos as the season goes on so you can see how it grows. So this is kind of a small nursery right now. I've got uh, the industrial hemp nurseries right in front of me here, one of them anyway. This one happens to be for grain, and it's a certain type of plant called a monoecious plant, which means it's got both male and female flowers on the same plant. Usually hemp is either male or female, but it makes a lot of sense to breed for male and female on the same plant when you're doing grain, because then every plant in the field has grain on it. So anyway, what we have around the outside of the field is, in this direction anyway, corn, 4 rows of corn that gets pretty tall, and it completely surrounds this little nursery. Part of the reason for doing that is to kind of keep folks out and have them not see that it's hemp, but I really don't have problems with people pilfering. It's really more to try to keep some of the pollen inside instead of flying around over to some of my other nurseries. On the left-hand side over here to my left, instead of corn, you might see the seedlings are a little smaller. This is sweet sorghum, and it's a variety called Minnesota #1. That doesn't matter that much, but it's a version of an old variety from the 1800s called Ames Amber that was grown around here. And I did some selection in it for higher sugar content. And the juice, you squeeze the juice out, and then you boil it down like maple syrup. But it's better than maple syrup in a way because it's higher sugar, and so it's actually a lot quicker to make the syrup. So anyway, let me show you what we're doing here. So in this nursery, we've got really wide rows. My technician Colin just did some rototilling between rows to get rid of some of the weeds. And we have about 6 feet between these rows, and that's so we can get the rototiller through. These are not performance trials. These are where I make selections, so I like to be able to get in there and take a look at the rows. So you can see these plants are coming up. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes, maybe a fifth node just starting here, and the internodes are pretty short. They take a long time as they're seedlings, and then after you get into July, they just like start growing like stink. But at this stage, they're pretty small, which is kind of what I wanted to show you, because when they get big, you'll go, holy cow, they really grew a lot, because they'll get up 8 or 10 feet tall. So all I was doing today is, I know how many seeds we planted. I wanted to get an idea of the plant stand. So I just kind of went down the row and counted plants, and I'll just keep that in the database. This is a pretty full row. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 plants are going to be growing here, which is a little tight, but not bad. You can see some of the other rows, like this guy down here, just smaller plants, and maybe a few fewer of them. That doesn't mean very much at this stage. I'm more all about how they look at the end of the year, not at the beginning of the year. But if I find some rows that have particularly low germination, I do keep track of that. There's one down here that's a little bit sparse. And if it comes down to making some choices about which material I keep, if I've got a row like this that just doesn't have a lot of plants emerging compared to that first one, then I'll ditch that row. But in any case, we're pretty far along in the breeding program. We've been at this 6 or so years now, which isn't long for a breeding program, but nevertheless, we've improved this material quite a bit. And so I'm just going to be making some final selections and hopefully come up with a new variety that we can use in Minnesota. All of this industrial hemp, by the way, actually came from collections that Colin and I made, my technician and I made, uh, starting in 2019 for 3 years. We'd go out and collect seed from a naturalized hemp, ditchweed, that we would find growing around Minnesota. And so this all descends from that. And the ditchweed comes from hemp that was grown for fiber in Minnesota from settlement right through World War II, when they had a big crop to make rope for the Navy. So anyway, this is material that normally people don't expect to be able to develop cultivars out of, but I thought let's give it a shot, and it's looking okay. So I don't know if, well, I don't want to turn this sideways, but down, you can see my bike over there. So campus is over between that gap. I don't know if you can see the greenhouses over there, but that's the St. Paul campus where my office is and my lab, so it's pretty easy to just bring my bicycle out and come out here. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a real quick peek, especially at some of the short hemp, and I'll follow that up as the season goes on with some shots of when it starts flowering, things like that, because it's just kind of fun to watch the plant because it's such a neat plant. I also have some beans over here that I have a few here, but I'll take a separate video about the beans because they're really my favorite plant to work with. And we're again, since I'm at the end of my career, I'm trying to just make some final selections to come up with some varieties. And what I really like and we're working on right now is some material where it's not just one seed color. It's kind of a curated mixture of seed colors where I'm trying to put really cool colors together like earth tones or bright things. And so this is just one of my increases where I did a selection among some beans. I ended up trying to go with some large black beans. So instead of, you've seen white kidney beans or red kidney beans. These are really big black kidney beans. And we'll see how that turns out. This guy over here is actually a selection Karen made that's some really cool colors and patterns from another cross that I did several years ago. So you can tell these are weedy. We have to come in here and get rid of that. But I could give a rip about weeds unless they kind of impinge on my ability to see the plant or it hurts yield. So anyway, just a real quick look, and I'll follow this up in the future with some more shots. Bye for now.